Hi, I'm Max Brantley with the Arkansas Times on Wednesday, January 14th. News from Arkansas. Let's call this the lull before the storm after yesterday's pomp and circumstance with the installation of a new government in Arkansas, virtually all Republican. I don't know if people have a hangover or what, but things are slower today in any event, mostly organizational meetings at the Capitol. Senator Jonathan Dismang has filed his income tax cut bill that he's going to push for Asa Hutchinson. He thinks it'll start moving next week. I suspect it'll move quickly through the legislature. There's been some fine tuning to it. It includes, I think, a delay of some previously scheduled tax cuts in this tax year for some income tax brackets, which will save a little bit of money at a time where the state needs some money. There's some tinkering with the brackets themselves, an attempt to address some of the bracket cliff problem that we've talked about before, where there's not strictly a graduated scale of taxes, but where the tax drops pretty sharply based on income gradations. In any event, you can read it on the Arkansas blog, and maybe you can make more sense of it than I can. Taxes are going to come down by 2016 tax year. That effort's going to start next week. We've been following developments at the Attorney General's office. You know, whenever there's a change in political leadership in the state office, people hire their friends and they have to replace some people who've been there before to do that. That's customary, nothing unusual about it at all. Even more so when the change in office is a change in partisan direction. Dusty McDaniel was a Democrat, Leslie Rutledge is a Republican. We knew she'd make changes. That makes perfect sense. But the changes have been pretty large. I think the Attorney General's office, because it has so many attorneys, view themselves in somewhat of a professional sense, a place that they're not there doing a partisan job. They're doing state legal work, and some of them have been doing it for a long time. Well, there's been a big shakeup. I got a list today. It looks like at least 30 people from Dusty McDaniel's days are gone. 15 of those people are attorneys. Some of them plan to leave because they were political lieutenants of Dusty McDaniel, but some have been there a long time. Jim DePriest, the longtime consumer protection chief who's been there since 1992, was among those dismissed. So there are going to be some changes. It remains to be seen if there'll be a change in direction, change in skill, and a change in where the office goes. I think the Medicaid fraud division is of particular interest. That's a big job of the Attorney General. Leslie Rutledge got elected with a significant financial help from a major nursing home owner. So what they do in that area will be watched closely. It was another good day for free meals for the legislature. Don't believe it that they've been deprived of their freebies. Lunch and dinner and cocktails were paid for today by the credit unions of Arkansas, the big industrial polluters, and the cities of Arkansas, the municipal league, whose money comes from tax money, were lobbying legislators today. If they want a free meal, they could get from those guys. Tom Cotton is already making headlines nationally. He gave a speech at the Heritage Foundation yesterday in which he blasted the Obama administration, as he has before, for being weak and vacillating on its policy toward Iran. You really get the feeling that Tom Cotton would love to take military action against Iran. Pretty strong words. I was interested, and you can find on a blog a good article written by a conservative publication that says Tom Cotton is reckless. He thinks that it's impossible to negotiate with a country that doesn't trust our aims, and a country that seems to want to invade them is not exactly trustworthy to other people. That's the conservative's point of view, not mine. Well, you know, unions aren't in high regard in Arkansas. We've got a right to work law. Their membership is declining, but research at the UALR has joined in a project that concludes being a member of a union makes you a happier person. So how about that? So give your union a thought if you get a chance. There's a town hall meeting in Little Rock tomorrow night. A well-known documentary filmmaker who's done a film on the Emmett Till lynching is going to participate in the panel discussion on police-community relationships. These are very important, and nowhere no more so than in Little Rock, where we have pending lawsuits over police use of deadly force against the community, particularly against black people. The new police chief, Kenton Buckner, is going to be there. Judge Wendell Griffin, always provocative, is going to be there. It's going to be the Mosaic Templars Cultural Center. Might be worth your time if you're interested in that topic. Finally, an interesting story on our blog yesterday. You may have read a story in the Arkansas Times before about a gun range owner in Hot Springs who bans Muslims from her premises. How she determines if they're Muslims or not, I don't know. We perhaps got a little indication recently when a young man and his father were ousted from the range, run off at a threat of calling the police because, well, they had brown skin. They weren't Muslims at all. They were actually Hindu, South Asians from India, but they got a most unwelcome treatment there. You know, I think this was, as I pointed out, a good indication of why ordinances like Fayetteville don't only ban discrimination, but they ban discrimination on the perception that somebody is a member of an unwanted class. You know, you can think somebody is gay, you can think somebody is black, you can think somebody is a woman, and discriminate them against those grounds and be wrong about what you think they are, and it's still discrimination. So with that, I'll leave you today and go back to the lull. I'm Max Brantley.